This being my final morning monologue of 2025, I thought I'd send you into the festive season with a spring in your step and hope in your heart. I plan to highlight all that is good, positive, and uplifting about the demolition and construction industry to explain why we should all be grateful, honoured even, to be a part of it. I thought about all of that, I really did, but then I surrendered to my inner Grinch and decided instead to focus on the many double standards that apply in this weird old sector of ours. We're going to start with a double standard with which just about everyone is familiar. A client wants a demolition project completed within 4 weeks. A house builder requires the footings to be finished by Thursday. The plant hire customer wants the machine delivered no later than 7 a.m. tomorrow. In each instance, the clock is ticking and it's made very clear that you will be judged solely on whether you hit those deadlines. But then, having hit that deadline, you submit your invoice, and all of a sudden, time becomes a construct, an ephemeral figment of the imagination. Your payment terms are 30 days. Their payment terms are sometime, maybe soon, maybe never. As an operator, you take delivery of a new machine. The cab is okay, if a bit Spartan. The first thing you notice is that the seat, while acceptable, is pretty basic. You were certain the spec sheet mentioned Bluetooth connectivity, but this machine appears to have none. There's no climate control to speak of, just a heater that is either on or off. As you settle in, you notice several blind spots. You look for the display showing the side and rear facing cameras. There is no display, and there are no cameras. There's no human form or object detection system either. A little concerned, you call your boss. He takes your call while seated in a top-of-the-line Range Rover, fully loaded, with a 360-degree camera array, ABS braking, forward collision warning, blind spot monitoring, electronic stability control, and a full suite of airbags. As he explains why your machine looks and feels a little bit basic, warm air wafts from his heated seat to ensure that his nutsack is kept at the optimum temperature. Then there's the company owner who is keen to show the world just how forward-thinking and enlightened he really is. International Women's Day is approaching, and he wants a slice of the social media clout. He summons his marketing person and dictates his vision for the company's contribution to this annual celebration of feminism. Even though he hired the marketing person primarily because of how she looks in a skirt, he's sure she can rise to the challenge. And he smiles, content with his recruitment savvy, trying not to drool as he watches her bottom jiggle as she leaves the office. You've just sat through the umpteenth toolbox talk on this project. You've endured death by PowerPoint, delivered by a disinterested safety expert who was clearly reading it by rote. His smile broadens, however, as he tells you what an asset you are to the company and how much they value your safety. He then tells you to collect your brand new PPE. Excitedly, you queue for your new high-vis vest and hard hat, but you can't help noticing that the label on the crate says "Made in Kazakhstan." More worrying still, your new hard hat, which arrived in a box marked "Discount," appears to be made from the same material as the plastic coffee cup you're currently holding. Later that day, you find yourself working on the roof of a dilapidated building. Each step is fraught with danger. Your phone rings. It's your boss looking for an update. You tell him where you are, and he says, "Rather you than me. I was supposed to go up there as part of the site walk around, but it looked a bit too sketchy." All morning, the client has been on the phone swearing about perceived delays. 4 of your crew failed to show up. The dumper driver is either on drugs or needs to be. The concrete hasn't arrived, neither has the diesel. There's big lifts planned for this afternoon, but the forecast predicts high winds. The health and safety executive inspector just arrived alongside a neighbour complaining about noise, dust, and mud on the road. You phone your supervisor for some support, only to be told he is off with stress. Finally, it's the day of your daughter's nativity play. She's rehearsed for weeks for her starring role as a tree. You booked the time off a month ago. Then comes the call. They need you to stay late. You tell the head office that you can't, that your daughter is depending on you. You're told to take it up with the managing director. But you're also told to take into account the time difference because the MD is currently in Barbados with his daughter. So, as you stand in the mud this December, clutching your plastic hard hat that's so flimsy it might just blow away, take comfort. Somewhere on a white sandy beach 4,000 miles away, your MD is raising a glass of vintage Cristal to your unwavering dedication. Merry Christmas.